Hey guys, welcome to the show. Before we get started, we're going to hit it up with our sponsor, Dizana Sports. They have awesome joggers and they have brand new gloves that Dish came out with. So you go over to the website, you use code Overshot, you get 10% off. Tells them we sent you, and they love that. And then they give us stuff, and it's great. So keep doing that. He's already sent us a little like swag bag set for the first batch of codes. Pretty sweet. But on this episode, we have a treat for you guys. Elliot from the Saberwolves is here to tell us all about himself. So we're just going to get right into it. But we're going to start with paintball. What was the first time you played paintball? Like, was it a birthday party or what was it?
So my first time playing paintball was actually way back in the day, and like everybody else's, but it wasn't like a birthday store or a birthday party in the neighborhood. The kids, we were like shooting each other. It started out with like laser guns that like we would wear like these infrared, little vest, and it would like kind of
Hmm.
pick up if you got shot. Then that progressed into airsoft, and then that would the same issues with any type of person in airsoft. Like you shoot somebody, it's just a BB that hits them and falls off. So it's like I hit you, no you didn't. Where'd it hit me? So it's kind of
Yeah.
that natural progression up into paintball, and playing paintball itself on like my very first time playing was at a birthday party at Paintball Atlanta, and I went out there with like three hoodies on, sweatpants, and I don't think I shot anybody. I think I was the only person who got shot all day. It was just like the refs were getting shot and I was getting shot. And I was hooked because I never did anything like it. Um,
Mhm.
and at that point in time too, I was a heavier set guy, so kind of like in my fitness journey with me getting in shape, it kind of paralleled with me becoming more competitive in paintball and getting better, and those two just kind of went hand in hand, and that kind of parallels my life.
So you went and you played a birthday party. What was like your next step? Was it scenarios or did you kind of hop like right into tournaments?
No, so we didn't have a lot of money growing up. The first step was going up to the owner and saying, "Hey, can I work here? What do I need to do to be able to afford this?" So they had
Mhm.
a reffing program that was set up, and it was like at 14 was the age that you could sign up and start reffing, and I was 14 years old. I'm like, God, this is great. This is like it's meant to be.
Right.
So I went out to go ref, and this was prior to how it is now, but there used to be like an initiation, to say the least, when you were repping. Some of
Oh
the
boy.
initiations might as well have been borderline hazing, with just shooting each other like as you're when the field shut down and everything's safe. Just to like all of a sudden paintball guns are getting shot left and right, cans are getting shot down, axes are
Right.
like they're being like smacked down. Just, it's craziness. Yeah, I don't want to go into too much of that because it was a little brutal on the hazing. If you know what I'm saying,
Uh-huh.
let's just say I earned my stripes. I earned my stripes being a ref, and then from there it
Right.
was okay. What's a paintball tournament? The local paintball tournament at that point in time for me was either the CFOAs or the GFOAs. And in the CFOAs, if you didn't play on a Carolina paintball team, there's no way you're going to win. It was very hard for Georgia paintball to go up and win CFOAs. So I wanted to hop into the GFOAs, especially in D5. It's my first year playing. It's not like I have any experience of real knowledge of what that actually meant to be a
Right.
Georgia paintball player going out of state. I've actually made a paintball team called the Atlanta Assault. It was me, Aaron Rios, our mutual friend named Chase Knox, and then two kids I went to high school with, Nick Beer and Amir. And we just, we did the thing. We played
Yeah.
GFOA five bands. I think we won maybe one game. It was like the last tournament. So we played a whole season and just lost. And our first or like our first win was our last GFOA.
Mhm.
And then the second year playing D4, and just like, I mean, I don't want to say like for the bottom, but like when I first started playing, I guess everybody just was a really bad paintball player. It's not like I picked up a gun and I was like Oliver Lang running down the center of the field. I was really bad, and it took a lot of time and a lot of beatings to understand like, okay, what is it that you need to do? Fortunately, growing out of paintball Atlanta, and even though the hazing was intense, the people who were hazing me were like Jason Green, Tito, all these guys that played with Extreme back in the day. Mel was the owner of it. Her husband, his name was Joe, and he was a phenomenal coach. He ran a very good program, very tight knit program, and just produced a lot of good paintball players. And those good paintball players from Team Extreme are the ones who taught me how to play paintball.
That's awesome. So now you played with Rios and all those guys. I know who's your teammate now. So at what point did you
Yeah.
get linked up with the Saberwolves?
That would have been, oh, man, I'm so bad with dates too. So in 2017, that's when the first GFOA, like the first, not GFOA, the first Big 10-man tournament came back to Atlanta, right? That was the
Hmm.
Paintball Atlanta Classic. That's a
Right.
little bit prior to that. The Saberwolves, Gant McCullum, on the Saberwolves, he asked if I was interested in going out and playing woods ball with some guys who know how to play some paintball. And I was like, I love playing paintball. Sure, it's not my normal cup of tea with playing on Xbox field, but I'll try the woods. And I got hooked. I instantly got hooked right away, and went out and bought like myself a GOG Enemy, which was like the only marker you could really buy, that or like an expensive autococker. And for me,
Right.
just
Right.
I didn't realize what this was gonna be. So I was just like, oh, sure, I'll get a mechanical gun. I'll go to a practice. It'll be fun. I did that. It was great. Then the tournament showed up and we played, and I was like, oh man, this is a lot of fun. I love the format. I love the competition. And it brings a certain element, a certain skill set back and actually like playing paintball. Because if you're shooting
Mhm.
right hand, you have to be able to shoot, extra fast. And then you switch to your left hand, you got to be able to shoot just as fast. It's not like ramping now, where all I need to do is just kind of sustain a certain amount of trigger pull. I actually have to. There's a skill, and it's just a different level, a different skill with mechanical paintball, and I love it. Brad started something. Brad Gruer, he's doing his podcast as well, but he started his
Yep.
mech strong thing, and I love it. I
Yep.
love the idea of just being mech strong.
Yeah, no, I love everything that you were just saying. I agree too. Like I love the fact that regardless, I pull that trigger once and one ball is coming out. It's a good
Yeah,
feeling when you're maintaining that lane.
for sure. And especially when you shoot somebody doing that, like when you're laying, all of a sudden you pulled and you're like, oh, that one felt good, and you see it go across the field, it's just, and
Uh-huh.
you're like, yes. And that
Yeah.
same thing, running, gunning. You see the guy, he's shooting at you, and you're shooting at him, and he's just standing there, and you're just like smack, 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 and he's like, "What the hell?" And you're like,
Clap, clap, clap,
"God."
clap.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's the feeling. And at least for me, like for the paintball player, that's my absolute favorite. Is when someone's posted up on me, and I come up and I get my shot, puts them in, and I'm just like, okay, every other shot's just right where I need it.
Yeah, no, it's a good feeling. Like recently they've been having me play the corner because a lot of the corners in the ICPL have been like far. And I
Yeah,
love when I'm running to the corner and I'm shooting to the corner and then I see my
yeah.
corner guy just keep walking. I'm like, yeah, I got him on the way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, especially like you get there first, the paint's already there. It's phenomenal.
Oh, it's so good. And yeah, we love Brad too. We were on his podcast, like, I don't know, times melding sometime last week. I really love
Dude,
what he's doing.
time
He's doing
is
good things.
melding in this sport. I
Melting,
was
right?
already bad with dates and like remembering specific times, but this is making me far worse.
Yeah.
I'm
Me
already
too.
a walking kettlebell or dumbbell, but this makes me really feel like one. Like
I
crap, I
know,
can't
right?
remember anything.
All right, cool. So you're playing on the Saberwolves now, and did you play the Georgia 10 man? Was that your first event with them?
Yeah, that was my first event with the Saberwolves. And fun fact, the Saberwolves have not brought the same 10 guys to a tournament since 2016. I don't think it's been the same core guys, but since 2017. So minus the very first one in New York, I've played at every single Saberwolves, since the resurgence. So that means every time that we won, I've been there.
You've been there.
I've
Yeah,
been
so you got a couple
100.
rings, you got some trophies.
Yeah. I've been. It was cool because the first tournament was the paintball Atlanta one, which was in like December timeframe. The second tournament after
Right.
that was I believe Brad's tournament in Texas, where he ran a 5-man on Saturday and a 10-man on Sunday, and we were able to have some extra room to bring a broom because we wound up sweeping that event.
I was gonna
We
say, you
went,
guys.
yeah, yeah, and I was just that's one of my favorite like. We took a team picture at that event, and they had like some beaten down helicopter, and we
Mhm.
took a picture in front of it. It's like, granted, it looks like we're like in a '90s rap cover, like a boys band. But I love that picture. It's framed up in the house. It's a really cool picture. And then the fact that we went out and won the event too on Saturday and Sunday, won the 5-man and the 10-man. It was great. It was like, man, what a way to start like the resurgence of the Saberwolves
Mhm.
with a bunch of good dudes and have fun and win. I was like, this you really can't ask for much more.
Yeah, put you guys
Yeah.
back on the map.
Nah, and I brought all of the memories back.
Right. So, what do you think of the multiple field style, like how the ICPL and the ICC, where you have multiple fields? Do you enjoy that? Do you think it should be one
I,
field?
I need more of it. I love it.
Cool.
I
Me
love
too.
going
Me
up.
too.
Yeah, I love going up to an event and just everybody having the same. No one knows the field. Everyone has to walk it, and the way
Mhm.
you guys think it happened, like the way you guys think the field's gonna play. You get your guys, you set up the position. Hey, what when you get here, what's your job gonna be? What are you gonna try to do? I love that, and I think I'm not saying that's a skill that's lacking in X-ball, but it's just once more, it's a different kind of skill because if you have 2 weeks to prepare for a layout, right? You better know that layout, right? You should know every crack. You should know every shot. You should know every step. If you don't, then that's just poor preparation on your end, especially in today's day and age where they've mitigated like the private, like if you had a private field, how you had like a unfair advantage. If you can go ends up round, and I'm 5'10", not the tallest dude in the world, but I can go in there and say I'm 5'10", and I can go to my spot, and what should the spot look like if I'm standing, crunching, prone, if my back's against the bunker, and I'm trying to look at my heartbeat sensor to figure out what's going on. I can,
right.
But when you don't have that, and you have just the 10-man field, and you can show up, and you have the hyperball, you have the hybrid field, like Tom's hybrid field, the tank. It's been my kryptonite. I love that field, but that field has been my kryptonite. I think if we go back for a third time, I know exactly what I need to do to excel on that. But my
Are you sure they're not sitting you on that one?
What?
Are you sure they're not going to sit you on that one if it's your kryptonite?
No, they should. But if they don't, and for some reason I get to go back out there, I'm gonna earn my spot back out there because I know how to play that field. But if that's one that I need to sit, that's okay too. Just don't sit me on a hyperball one and mounds. I love those. Like ICC Woods. It's one of my favorite fields ever. I'm sorry, I'm like
I like how they changed it too.
Man, I agree with you, man. I like that Woods one. I was shooting into random bushes, killing people, so I was cool with it.
Yeah, it's like that field. For when I talk to people, it's like this is very, very deliberate. Either I love that field or I fucking hate that field. I've never met someone that was like, it's okay. It's always the extremes. It's always like, oh man, that's fucking awesome. I'm shooting into random bushes and people's hands are coming out like, stop shooting me. Or I love that field. There was a moment where on the spectator side they had that long tree. And I was able to crawl up to the side of the tree, get a nice kill. And there was some dude in the back, and I just flopped over. And I feel like I was crawling in like no man's land. I was like, man, if someone looks at me, I am completely out in the open. And the only thing blocking me from this dude in front of me is like this TP like tree thing, and everything else I'm exposed. And I'm just like, I'm gonna do this. And it was just, I don't know. You don't get that on an X-ball field. You also don't have the fear of like crawling into a snake, but maybe that's just me being like paranoid that I'm going to crawl in there one day and I'm just going to hear a little rattle and be like,
yo, that's happened to me, dude.
Yeah.
World Cup, like 2014, dude. There was a snake on this field that we played because the field that they were going to use for the UWL 5-man got like flooded. Yeah. So we had to like go like 4 miles down the road for World Cup in some random woods. And it looked like they just took a machete, cut a couple paths, put a couple flags, and they're like, go at it. And like I stepped on something and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, fuck, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And then Tom Cole's brother came out with a snake and then whatever. And that's when I ended up finding out like his whole family, they're like snake wranglers. Like Tom Cole, his brother, his dad.
What? That's a whole you need to get him on the podcast and get that. I don't want to hear that one.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, he's like, he goes to Africa, dude, all the time.
To like wrangle snakes?
I'm telling you, man.
That's
that's crazy. That's like
I'm not gonna go manhandle any snakes. I'm not too petrified of snakes, but like if I'm playing, all of a sudden I look over and I see that little snake and it's just slithering at me.
I did.
Like, all right, little buddy, I'll see you. This is your spot. I'm gone.
Went to the other side of the field.
Here you go. You can take my armband. You
turned around, went back, all the way around the other way.
Nah. Peter's gonna come after me, but if I see a snake, I'm putting a hopper in his ass. Fuck snakes. I don't do snakes.
You know what? Talking about, speaking of snakes and paintball and like that, at the ICPL, when we were walking the hybrid field was it the first time or the second time? I want to say it was the first time we were there. Justin Owen, the owner of the team, he's looking and he's like looking at this bush, and I'm walking over there. I'm like, man, are you thinking about getting in the bush to play? Like, is there like, what are you gonna do in there? And all of a sudden, I just see him like just right back in and just yanks out a snake, and I'm like, what?
I would have had a heart attack, dude.
I was just like, I'm walking over. I'm like, oh man, I haven't seen him. I'm fresh from the airport. I'm gonna run up and give him a hug. And as I'm, coming up, he just pulls a snake. I'm like, what kind of self-defense move is that? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I'm putting a hopper in this thing for real. I don't do snakes. I heard the story from Rocky when they had the UWL at Florida Traction Trails, which Waldo played in, which is Paxton Field in Florida, and they pulled a cottonmouth out of there. I'm like, dude, I would have died.
Yeah, no, that would not have been okay.
Wasn't that Barrett? Didn't Barrett tell us that?
Was that Barrett? Dude, I don't know. Days are melting. Someone told me they were at the Florida Traction Trails and they pulled out a giant ass snake.
God bless.
Yeah, it was Joe Barrett, dude. It wasn't Rocky Cangoni. It was Joe Barrett. Because I
So
was
that's a
there.
Rocky story, though. Hell, either that or it'd be fishing. Something along like, man, I was out on the water and pulled out a snake. What? How does that even work?
Right, it does sound like something Rocky would say. But let's get back to like the Saberwolves and stuff. So, what was it like at World Cup winning? Was the 5-man mounds is what you guys won, or was it the 10-man?
10-man mounds.
Okay.
The 5-man mounds, I believe we come second both times. So with the 5-man mounds, it's been elusive to us. And the teams that we've been playing, they're just good paintball teams. You know, you can go out, and that's it's kind of the beautiful thing about sports, not just paintball in general. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, though. You have to get, in this case, 5 guys together. You have to understand that there's a certain mission and that everyone has to do their job, nothing more, nothing less. And you have to try to get better every single time, right? And even if you do everything right, sometimes even if you have all the game plan, everything right, the other team just comes out and they're just better. The ball's out in the air, something that goes along the lines just happens. Kind of like in UFC, sometimes you can go through 2 fight camps. Fight camps go great for both fighters, and somebody just gets like a flying knee and knocks them out. It's not like that one fighter was uberly superior. It was just like he got that blow right away, and that's all he needed. And that seems to be something similar to us in those 5-mans these past 2 years. Is like we get right there, and then it just slips out from underneath us because we lose focus or we're just not completely in sync. And I'm not putting that on anybody. It's a sync thing. We can all be on and firing at all cylinders, but if we're not all firing cylinders together and flowing together like an engine, the engine's out of balance, and now requires maintenance.
No, I think one of the biggest terms that you could definitely transfer over to paintball is you got a boxer's chance, is what they say in MMA. Everyone's got a boxer's chance, man. Anyone could get got.
Mm-hmm. And that's a beautiful thing about it. I love the parallel of just sports and life, but paintball and life, and just 10 guys, everyone has a job on the team, and sometimes like you go to a layout, right, and some like corner guys, like I played a lot of my XFL career in a corner. It's not the most luxurious spot in the world, you know what I mean? But you need to do it, and it's a job that you need a guy who's going to go out there and he needs to do it, and he needs to understand that, hey, if it's the type of field where if I'm not on the wire, they're going to crawl all the way down and shoot us in the back, that like no matter what, I'm staying out. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have to have that, and then you also need the guys on that same field who are the ghosts, who are like reconnaissance, who are just not communicating as much, and as if anything, just listening to the information out there and applying. Okay, how do I do that?
Not everyone needs to talk. You gotta have to have like useful conversations out there. Just because you're not talking doesn't mean you're not taking it in. Instead of shouting like G3 900 times and back corner 9,000 times.
Yeah. I was going on a train of thought there. I kind of forgot it. At least on the lines of like business. Well, no, some people have the nice jobs. Excuse me. Some people have the nice jobs. Some people have the crap jobs. You have the janitors. You have the salesmen. But it's a unit. It's everything that works together that ultimately makes it run smoothly. That's what I was trying to go there, but I kind of went off too far on a tangent.
Yeah. No, but you're right. Like, it's still one business, and everyone's got a job. Whether you're a salesman, whether you're a janitor, and it's all to get this monster going.
Yeah. And no one should be above it, right? Like if I'm the sales guy, right? Like I'm the sales guy and I come in, but we need somebody to do trash or do the lawn. Elliot, your last name's Rodriguez. You got the lawn today? I got you, SA. I got you. And no one should be above being able to do something that would be, quote unquote, in their eyes, maybe inferior to what their role is on the team. Like if the one snake guy is in there, if Chad George is just not having that event, fucking Fedorov, come on up, Chad, play us too. It's not really a bad situation, but he has to understand, hey, you have to take you're not getting it done. It's not against you. Just right now, we need somebody who's going to do it. We know you could do this role, and then you have to be able to swallow that pill to go and do that role to the best of your ability.
Right. I think one of the big cool differences about paintball is just because like you don't have it that day doesn't mean you're not good. And then there are just some days where you don't you don't got it, and you're just like, fuck, dude, whatever, I suck today.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's once more sports, basketball. I'm a huge basketball fan. For me, that's like sometimes you show up and you could just hit threes all day, right? And then there's some days you go and you're practicing free throws and you're like, I think I've shot 20 and made 3. I feel like Shaq right now. Like this is
Yeah, you're Shaq out there.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, what's going on? I was just draining buckets and now I'm shooting bricks. What's going on?
Right, and that's definitely paintball.
Yeah, it sucks that when those are tournament days, especially you have like 3 good practices, you show up to an event. Did I just get all my stuff from Walmart and like forget how to play? Like what happened?
Right? Did I just get my Spider Victor out and fucking what happened out there?
Dude, I feel the worse the team doesn't practice, the better we've done in the tournaments. Like at least, I mean, more so when I was playing speedball. Like we would go out and smash D1 teams in practice, and then we'd get to the tournament, and we would lose to dudes that were 400 pounds coming out the bunker showing everything, and you're like, dude,
yeah.
That's why I always used to get nervous if we had a good practice. I'd be like, no, we got to stay extra. Like we got to lose some points or something. Like it can't be this good, dude. It can't. I don't know. It was always a thing that I had. Now, something that I was wondering, were you guys looking to play the Woods Bowl World Cup at Jerry's in New York, or it was supposed to be in May, but it got moved to June.
I would say that was the May one they got put. Didn't that one just get canceled as well?
It got moved to June. They're trying to push our local government to have the event, but everybody starts on the back line, like 8 feet apart.
Yeah.
Can't double the bunker. Have to wear a face mask under your face mask. I think those are the only rules that I saw. Can't bunker people.
Yeah, you can't bunker.
Oh man, that would like ruin my game plan. I try to get up in everyone's face. If I can't bunker somebody, that'd be no bueno. Thank you for the water.
I know it'd be rough. Like, what are you gonna do if you're both at the snake 50 on the other side? You're gonna be like, oh, excuse me, both you players back up 3 feet. You're too close.
Nah, man.
COVID-19 alarm comes out.
Surrender.
Surrender. Oh my gosh. No, I can't really disclose too much information. We're possibly doing something at the end of May. I don't know what. Well, I do know what, but it's not like for sure yet.
Nothing's for sure right now.
Yeah, so I want to say because that's a paintball tournament and that's one before ICC. So yes, we want to go play it. But as of right now, the only thing that is confirmed is ICC because we paid for it.
Yeah, I cannot effing wait for ICC. I am so pumped.
I cannot wait.
I think Tim should open it up, but we'll see.
What do you mean?
I think he should add a day, especially if it's going to be the first tournament in a long time. I think
like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Or just scrap the 5, make the 5-man Thursday and make it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and freaking add more teams. I think, but
I don't disagree. But what I hope he does is I hope he does that, but I hope he also gets his liquor license and then gets the steel company. What was it? Iron City Brewery?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my. I'm not even the biggest alcohol guy in the world, let alone like drinking beer. But that was
me too.
That was
dude. I was on like a stop, and then like I wasn't playing that for ICC. We get there, like he's like, "Yo, you gotta go." I'm like, "All right, I'll go." And I just went, and I was like, "I'm just gonna go. I'll shit talk to Master Blast. I'll shit talk GZ. Fuck around with all my friends. Like, just fucking watch a bunch of old men fight in the woods. Good time." Then I hop out the car, like day of play, and my boy on CP was like, "Dude, Master Blast has got 100 guys." I'm like, "I'm not playing. I'm down to play." I'm like, I gave my gun away to my boy that's playing on bad company. So I was like, "Hook me up with some gear, Trav. Like, let's go."
Yeah. So just to piss him off, I gave him a GZ gun.
Master Blaster thing, and I'm like, people are like, "Yo, Master Blaster GZ." Nah, man, I'm my own person, man. I'm my own person, dude. No ill will on anybody, but I'm my own person. I like my boy because my other boy was like, "Dude, I thought you said that you weren't a part of this team anymore or whatever," and I'm like, you know, man, free gear, man. The best players don't own their own gear.
That's some of the best that I know. Don't either that or like you could be Eric Dearman and you can get your own adrenaline gun, your one-off series, or Nikki Cuba.
Right.
Yeah, or you could be Nicky Cuba from New York and not show up
Yeah.
to an event after you get your signature series gun. So I don't think I've seen him at an event after you got it, right? You know?
And the man's working.
I haven't seen Nicky there in a couple events.
I ain't gonna say anything bad about Nicky. He's working. He's out there. He's putting his hours in.
Yeah, no, he's got, yeah.
I've hung out with Nicky plenty of times, man.
Yeah,
You know, I've hung out with him plenty of times. We've been on the ferry coming back from New England, fucking hitting tanked out of his mind. But you know, man, Nicky's Nicky, man. You know, you just gotta know how he is. You know, to deal with him.
Yeah.
But all right, cool. Now I want to get into more you like a little personally. We covered your paintball stuff, but I know you're big into fitness and you had a huge transformation. So talk a little bit about the transformation that you went through.
Okay, so we'd have to kind of go back to like.
Yeah, I know we got to go back a little now.
Yeah. Right. So now we went forward to the paintball journey. Now we got to go back to like that D5 referee time. This one I was like 14 years old, 13, 14, at the beginning of my paintball career. And at that time I was already a thick kid. I wasn't like morbidly obese because I still played sports and did stuff. And that's actually how I got injured. I wound up having two bad knees. I have a fake meniscus in my right knee, ACL repair in my left, and that.
Two big ones.
Yeah, right. Excuse me. And the doctor basically told me like, hey, sports probably, you're more susceptible to get injured once you're in, like the whole 9 yards basically said like, hey, probably not going to play any high level sports. And I believed the doctor for a while. And eventually I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. When you're 15, 16 years old at this point in time, you look down, you can't see your toes, let alone your own manhood. It's kind of hard to like have any type of self-confidence in yourself to be able to do or accomplish anything. So I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And my nerd ass found myself in a bookstore, and I picked up a bodybuilding. What was it? Was it men's and fitness, muscle and strength? But it was a guy. The cover model, his name was Greg Plitt, who's now dead because he tried outrunning a train. But he may not have been the smartest bulb in the shed or the sharpest tool in the shed. But he looked great, right? And I was like, damn, I want to look like that. So that's kind of where my whole journey started. It was like looking at that, picking up, saying, okay, how do I need to do this? And it started with one, cleaning up my diet, which for me it was like an icy food diet. I saw it, I ate it. It was on your plate, didn't care. I ate it. I just stopped doing that and started tracking my calories, which is my biggest like fitness tip to anybody. Is just download any of the apps, whether it be MyFitnessPal, which is my favorite. You could do Lose It. There's a new one that is like an offshoot of MyFitnessPal, and specifically for kids that I really, really like because it's about building healthy habits. But to me, that was my healthy habit, was starting journalizing, like, okay, what am I eating? And then like, what are my intentions for the day? And that was my big thing. I was starting to write down at the beginning of every day, okay, what is it that I want to do today? And like, for me, I'm such, my mom likes to say a positive ray of sunshine, but I'm just a positive person. And it's hard for me to be like glass half empty. I'm always glass half full. So like, along with that, I would write something positive. And there was a big speech by Matthew McConaughey where he wants to be the Matthew McConaughey 10 years from now. He's working to be the person 10 years from now who he wants to be. And that's kind of my mindset. And I guess I was fortunate enough to find that early on when I was, 18 years old. I was like, okay, when you're 18, the Elliot at 28, what does he want to look like? How does he hold himself? How does he play paintball? What is his paintball story? I started asking myself all these, and it was kind of powerful because it allows you to write your own story, because you could sit there and come up with so many different ways of what you want your story to be. But then that takes the next part of making a dream a reality is writing it down and then making a goal and then figuring out how to do it. Right. Then it's no longer a dream. It's just goals, just stepping stones on how do you achieve the things that you want to achieve. Yeah, so that for me losing my weight loss, just kind of going back into that, it started with me tracking my food, journalizing everything I was doing in the day. Then I went to my local gym. Once more, we did have a lot of money. Hint, I wanted to play paintball. What did I do? I got a job at a paintball field so I could play paintball. You would work a whole day, you get a ref card for 500 paintballs. You ref a few weekends, you got a case of paint. This one I went to the gym. Hey, we don't have a lot of money for a gym membership. Can I work for a gym? And at that point in time, the owner, his name was Davin, I went up to him and said, hey, my last name's Rodriguez. I'm real good at cutting grass and taking out the trash. Can I do that in compensation for a gym membership? And he ate it up. He loved it and pointed me to the mower. And that was like, I asked the question. He pointed, and I guess it was see if I was full of shit or not. And next thing you know, I'm out front cutting grass. And then I went in and pestered the trainers of, how do you train? It was great. I feel super blessed because I had like a hardcore bodybuilder who is Austrian. His name's Daniel Stefanski. He's a great trainer. I love him, and he sounds like Arnold. Looks like Arnold. Then you had Jana Collins, who's like a strength and conditioning. She was like, athletes. Then you had like basically like this super niche trainers all in one little gym that I got to learn from. I was like, oh my god, this is great. And I wasn't going to take no for an answer. I was just going to pester them until they gave me knowledge. Or at least I would scrap a nugget from them, whether it was true or not. I was just trying to gain as much information from them as I possibly could. And that segued into me eventually becoming the manager of the gym, getting my training certification, becoming the head trainer of the gym, and then now even becoming a co-owner of a gym. Now I make content, like my job is to make content online to make sure that everyone has, healthy habits.
Yeah, awesome. So that kind of leads us in. Oh, sorry, Joel, look up.
No, man, I was going to say that's awesome. So it seems like your persistence, even in paintball and in the fitness world, kind of went hand in hand where you're like, I don't have a lot of money. How can I figure this out? Let me work at the field to play paintball. Let me work at the gym to get better in shape. And then it kind of went hand in hand to kind of find mentors, to have money to do stuff. It kind of all went hand in hand.
Yeah, and fortunately, like I find mentors in everybody and everything. Like I draw inspiration from everyone. Like I don't think there's ever one way to do anything. Like absolutely. If anything, I've learned in Star Wars, it's two things: never give up the high ground, and never trust anybody that speaks in absolutes. So I there's never one way just to do one task. There's always different perspectives on how to get something done. And sometimes you may think that you're doing things right. Justin, I wish I could quote him right now, but at the ICPL, Jacob Adcock, sorry to pull you out on this, did a fantastic move up the center. He killed everybody, right? But it wasn't what was needed at that moment to get done in the game for us to really understand how to win on that field. Not saying that he got lucky on that move. He just got lucky on a move and shot everybody. And it was like, fuck, we missed out on an opportunity on how to like shut out a game as a unit instead of just like, I'm going to run and see if it works.
Yeah, kid made a good move, but you missed out on a learning opportunity.
Yeah, and it's not like he did anything wrong. It's just like that person, it's just talking about different perspectives. Like, man, if we didn't do that and we sat back and was like, okay, watch the cross, let's bait the dude to come out, and now you can make your run, and it's instead of it being a risky, like, what way is that dude facing, it's guaranteed.
Right, so next time you try and pull that, you've already executed it, so you know what it's supposed to look like.
And plus, like, when it's the finals and first place and second place, it's basically like which team's going to mess up first. At that point in time, both teams are so sharp, they're like freaking katana blades, that it's not about like who's sharper, or it is about who is sharper, like who doesn't mess up. When it's those bend, don't break moments at the end of the day, that's when you gotta like nut up or shut up. How do you handle yourself? And I love those situations.
Yeah, like
talking about them.
We do a lot of sports comparisons. We've been this episode, but it's like the Patriot way is bend, don't break. They're all about not making a mistake and then capitalizing when the other team does, and probably why they've been great for so long. And that's what you see a lot of the good paintball teams do too. They don't make mistakes, but when you make a mistake, they make sure they shove it down your throat.
Yeah. No, and those high pressure moments, those are like, I don't know, like even in all sports, right? All sports that comes down to those, or at least I don't want to say sports, but let's look at like heroes, right? And people that we look up to. We look up to heroes because they go really deep in those bend don't break moments to where if we put ourselves in those shoes or in those capes, right, we're like, how the fuck do they handle that load or that stress? But it's because it's the story of how they overcome that crucible, that personal crucible, that we make it personal in our own story, and we can narrate it in our head to where we draw the parallels and draw inspiration from that. And hopefully, whether it be stories of Marcelo Margot being a badass, or Oliver Lang being, Oliver Lang, and allowing those heroes in your story and drawing inspiration from them, saying, man, I could do, that one-on-one to win a tournament like Marcelo did, or I could run through and shoot 4 people on ESPN like Oliver, and I could be my own hero in my own story. Because at the end of the day, the only person stopping you is you, you know?
Oh, 100%. So, whether it's you or the Saberwolves, you guys plan on doing any international events?
Yes, Nikki Turner. Nikki
Yeah,
Turner?
Nikki
Yeah,
T.
Nikki T, my man.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's been trying to get us to go over there, and by trying, it's we all want to get over there. Now it's just a matter of getting all of us on the same page on this. Just hey, can we all make it over there instead of like just 7 people? Where's the team? But yeah, we definitely want to go overseas. Specifically, there's a big paintball tournament in London, England area.
Yeah.
But that over there on the other side of the pond, for my Georgia Southern boy, no, my geographical location.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, the Predator. All I know is the Predators over there. They're a great 10-man team, and they have a tournament that they've been consistently winning. And we want to bring a pack of wolves into those woods and see how they handle themselves there. I want to see if the wolves can feast a little bit, or are they going to come home with some trophies?
Yeah, no, we're trying to do the same thing. I know I'm talking to some of the Belaster guys and some of the younger GZ guys. We're trying to like maybe see between both of us if we can get a squad there because we're looking to try and do the same thing, get over there and see what we can do.
Some of my favorite paintball stories that I've heard. I love hearing like old people. I shouldn't say old people, but
Older.
yeah, and I don't even say older because I'm about to talk about Gant. But my first thought was Lane. Lane Wright's such a character. He would go off on like these paintball stories, and I just like maybe I'm just a kid who likes stories, but I just hearing his stories about going overseas and just playing tournaments were just amazing. And some of my favorite ones were actually of Gant McCullen and him telling me, and Aaron Rios and bowling, just him telling his stories of him going overseas, and that like to me that was the coolest, most like solidified in my eyes that paintball was like a thing that I could do, that if I got good enough, I could use it to travel. And I love traveling. I love exploring. I love being introduced to things that I didn't even know existed. And for me, paintball has been that ticket through all aspects of my life. Like fitness has helped, but a lot of like the cool things that I've had the privilege to do are all directly from people that I know from paintball. Like super recently, like within the past week, like because we all three talk, like something that you guys might not know is now like I do a lot of social media stuff online. Like for the Anytime Fitness that I'm at, I one of my jobs and my responsibilities is to create content online to help build healthy habits, to build a community, get people coming into the gym, right? I'm taking that same skill set, right, and now there's somebody in the paintball world, Ben. Shout out to you, Ben, who owns the boat shop at Lake Lanier. And I'm going now, and we're going down, breaking down the boats, saying, okay, like, hey, this is what you could do for boating and whatnot. Because down here in the south, we have Lake Lanier, and it's like the best spot in the southeast to go like on the lake. It's just phenomenal. I mean, we have a lot of other lakes, but Lake Lanier is just a huge, huge, huge market for boats. And especially if you guys ever come down south and hang out, you'll see like the lake's 10 minutes from where I'm at. So it's like everyone is on the lake during the summer. So now I'm taking a little bit of that boating knowledge, and he got me super hooked on like wake surfing and all that. So now I have like a whole another hobby besides paintball and snowboarding that I wouldn't have been able to do or been able to get as into as I'm currently getting, unless it was from him. And he's directly involved in paintball. He plays paintball. He owns a boating shop. I was like, it all came together. Shout out to Bird for making that happen. Jay Bird Paintball.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to get into now what you do for a living. So I definitely want you to plug it. So I'll plug like what you're doing with fitness right now and posting on social media. Where can people find that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so for my main hub, right, is going to be my website, which is going to be YDDOF, which stands for Your Daily Dose of Fitness. I believe everyone should move a little bit each and every day. So if you live in the Atlanta area, I would encourage you just to come over and see me. We could physically train together. But a lot of my friends, they're not living in Georgia. There's some in Tennessee, Alabama, all over in the West Coast, up north now. I got a lot of the Northeast amigos that I got to help out. And this is my way to help out my online community. I've been putting out content Monday through Friday. I come out with a daily pump, which is just a dumbbell. If you really only have a pair of dumbbells, it's a workout program built around minimal equipment that's going to get you moving better, feeling better, and it's going to build a body that's hard to kill and looks better naked. The other program that I do is called the Daily Sweat, and it's for people who don't have any weights. It's all calisthenics, and it's just designed to make you sweat. And it's going to get you and it's going to get you in some great paintball shape. I promise you that. But now going off of that, branching down from that, then I'm physically at the gym, doing the training, building the department. Right now, I'm focusing on getting another trainer underneath me and getting him or her acclimated, understanding what it is to be 20, because it's not the same as when I first started training. There's like the barrier to entry of being like a good coach, at least in my eyes, is far above what it used to be, right? There's a lot of extra work. There's a lot of extra passion that has to go into it if you're going to be a good coach, right? And then now tripping off of that, the third thing that I'm doing is I'm creating content specific towards the business to help drive prospects, clients, to either join the membership, buy a product, in this case, buying boats, that we're just going to go in and crush it. So that's what I'm doing, at least for Ben and his boat shop. But I could also do that for a couple other industries. I feel super fortunate, though, for the life that I've been able to build, because all of my interests, the things that I enjoy doing, the question is like, okay, how can I afford to do this? Because everything costs money, right? And then two, how can I make it free? how can I like mitigate the cost by being involved in it, right? Because if I'm going to put energy in anything, right, to like earn money, why not try to do it in something that I love? It may not be $1 million thing. Paintball is my number one passion, right? It's never going to make me $1 million.
Nope.
At least not in the direction that it's headed. Maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I am wrong. But
very few people are millionaires from this. Like I said, I'm not going to say who it was, but we were talking to somebody, and I was like, yeah, make sure you plug your business, for the podcast. I want to promote you. He's like, yeah, bro, I don't have a job. Paintball's my job. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's very nice. But that's
okay. Then we'll just talk about paintball.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. It makes it even easier. Just stay
I was
on
like,
that lane.
okay. Oh shit! Damn. All right then.
Yo, but let's be real. That same dude told us he lived on $7 a week for
a year
for food.
Training to be on damage.
But listen for that next episode.
That's a great one.
It'll be.
It shows how when somebody wants something, well, there's a will, there's a way, right? Like at the end of the day, if you want something, no matter how outlandish it might seem to everybody else, if you say, okay, the sacrifice that I'm about to have to go through is worth the end goal, then really whatever it is you're able to summit that.
Oh, I'm a firm believer in that. Like, if it's important to you, you make time for that in anything. I found that with anything. Like, before I played paintball, I was in a band, and at the very end, I started getting mad because no one would show up to practices or anything. And I was like, I'm the only dude standing in the room, and they're all trying to tell me how important it is to them. And I'm like, dude, if it's important, you make time. If it's important, you'd be here.
Dude, there's one thing that I hate more than anything is when people tell me something, right, and their actions speak
louder than their words.
Yeah, like 180. That is my biggest turnoff. I'm like, God, like you could even just be honest and be like, yeah, like I want to do it. I just don't really want to practice. Like I would respect that more than saying, oh, this is my fucking life. And then you're over there playing COD, which I'm not mad at. I want to play too, but like, come on.
Right. Just tell me so I could stay home. We can play COD together. That's all I'm saying.
Don't tell me you want to be a paintballer and you're fucking 3 hours late to practice because you wanted to get drunk last night. And now, especially with social media, you motherfuckers can't hide stuff.
No.
You know what I mean? Like back in the day, you tell me, oh man, I felt sick, and you were out at the bar. But the idiots that nowadays, these kids, like when I was coaching a team, they'd be like, oh man, I'm sick. And then like they'd be late to practice, and I'd be like, oh bro, like here's you and your girl shit faced off your fucking rocker, bro, at the bar the other day. Yeah. I one time went to a bar because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go roll up on them. I'm gonna roll up on them.
These motherfuckers are gonna be there.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, what's up, dude? You can be ready for practice tomorrow." And he's like, "Bro, I'll be there." He's like, "You're definitely not going to be there. You're not going to be ready." All right, bro, I'll be there. I'll hang out with you now, and I'll be there because I'll never let anything. That's always been my thing. If it's going to affect work or it's going to affect like me at paintball or whatever, like I was still there. I was not in the best mental thing, but then it became the thing too, where I was like, dude, it's not just one to be on time; it's two to be ready on time and be in your best physical condition or mental. And that's like even what going to what
levels of the game. Yeah, it's like, what is your standard of excellence? Okay, cool. It's to be on time. Now, is it to be on time and present? Is it to be on time and present, and take the extra step and have your your sandana already ironed and pressed out? Like, what is the level of your expectation? When you were saying that, it made me think of we can't hide anything on social media, right? When I want to make an analogy back to basketball, pre-social media age, like Michael Jordan area. I almost said Michael Jackson. Michael Jordan area. When they would practice, it's not like Zion Williams when he would film his practicing dunks and have 1 million followers and everyone can see that he's practicing his 2,000 free throw shots every day. They didn't have that back then. Now we do. Like, shout out to my homie Christian Collins. He was out there at the paintball field the other week, like middle of the day, just practicing slides. Just had his gear on and I was like, I don't want to say it made me mad. I was like, motherfucker's out there practicing, and like that's my thing. I may not be the most talented person in the world, but god damn it, I will outwork. I can get good at anything, right? But I just have to put the practice in. And when I start putting practice in something, that's when it gets scary because I get obsessive. I go deep into it. Once the paintball season starts getting back in and I get to go on those weekly grinds, I'll do like Tabata snap shooting, and I'll put myself in a really dark spot where I try to put myself mentally in one of those bend or break moments. And as I say that, I'm at my house drinking some freaking, like coffee in the morning, and I look up and I open up Instagram or Facebook and I see Christian out there in the field sliding. I'm like, god damn it. Like, no, I got to get out there. Yeah.
It pushes you.
No, it does. And like, how cool is that it's paintball, right? And like, it's just a nice escape from like the craziness that's going on outside. Like, there's invisible demons called COVID-19 that's out there trying to kill us, and I'm over here just
the invisible enemy.
Yeah, right.
But no, it's nice, and like you said, it's something nice because it takes you away from that stuff. That's what I love about like sports is that, like, for a second you kind of forget like all the whatever bullshit you got going on in life. Like right now, everyone's worried about COVID or whatever. You're worried about your job, and then you just practice fucking dives for 10 minutes, and for 10 minutes that shit don't matter.
Yeah, or once more, shout out to Christian again. Of like the week prior, he was out in the back of his job with his paintball gun, like snap shooting, and like I believe teaching his coworker how to snap shoot.
I'm gonna say, he had his coworker snap shooting too.
Yeah, Christian, though, that coworker looked better than you did, homie. So you gotta step shit up.
Yeah, tighten up his form.
Yeah, right. Come on, man.
Those legs.
But now, and it's just, it allows you to get motivated, to get excited for something. And I think for me, maybe I take this for granted on like getting motivated, right? Because I can look at an empty water bottle and I can find motivation in that. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I can find motivation in anything. For some people, it's especially people who come to me to train who are like, I'm just not motivated. They are by nature like glasses half empty. So finding like if someone like that is able to find motivation in a simple video of like Christian sliding, for like that's a cool thing to me, and like to get them motivated to go out and play paintball and get better. I'm surprised. I don't know if you guys know Will Newberry by chance? No? I have to send you his info. He's a young kid, but he's probably going to be like the next freaking Oliver Lang. This kid is he's like genuinely like the first kid who I've seen where the dad, the family, everyone's like, okay, he wants to play paintball. That's his thing. The dad takes him to the gyms, working out, getting boxing, like just conditioning. And then on Saturdays, going to the field, cutting the grass, seeding, like doing all these things that like is physical labor. Then on top of that, then he'll do like 3 hours of just drills and snap shooting. And he goes to all the combines. He's a great dude.
Where's he from?
Where's he from? He's from Georgia.
Oh, all right.
He plays out of Nitro. He's a little kid. And whenever you go up and talk to him, like after the game, if I see him play the snake and I see, something that maybe I'm like, hey, you didn't do anything wrong, but this would have been my, how I would have done this thing. It's always, yes, sir. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. I'm just like, who are you, kid? And like, he's just like a little robot, and I can't
Dude,
wait.
isn't it refreshing though, man?
I absolutely love it, and everybody else at the field loves it too, because you're like, dude, this kid has like negative amount of ego. Like the thing that I want to tell him, like, dude, I need you to have an ego now. You're so nice. You're me. You're so nice that sometimes you gotta have a little dirt in your mouth, and you gotta go out there with a little chip on your shoulder, because I think that's the only thing you're missing now.
Send him up here up north. We'll have him dumping his loader in no time.
No,
no, man. But it's. I've seen 100 kids come and go, man, and it's like we had a similar situation with this young kid Carter at the field, and it was like he was standing there, and I'm like, it reminded me of my good friend Travis when I originally picked him up. Like, dude, you're not gonna play just standing there on the side of the field, like, especially on an expo practice where teams are just going at him. Like, bro, you want to play a point? Oh, I'll just watch. I'm like, all right, we'll get you a point. You get this little kid a point on the Vegas layout or whatever it was, like, probably the Vegas layout, because it's the only layout that came out this year. But I'm like, dude, you're small. Like, obviously, you're gonna go to the snake with your mini and your little fucking. You're like a midget, bro. You know what I mean? I'm like, so yo, come at this tower, mad low, dive in the snake, come in. I'm like, come into the Dorito, like. And normally I would never say all this to one person. I'd just be like, yeah, bro, just get in there, whatever. But this kid, I don't know. I just had a feeling. And I was like, check in the Dorito 1. I'm like, if he's not there, just keep going.
Yeah.
Dude, the kid went, shot 2 dudes, eventually got shot out like down the tape because of his gun skills. But I was like, all right, like, we'll work on that. Came off. I'm like, yo, you ever play speedball? He's like, never. I'm like, how'd you learn how to do that? I was like, because you obviously know something. He's like, I watched NXL Vegas Go Sports, and I looked at like all the kids that I was there helping with that are like, like 18, 17, 20 years old or whatever. And I'm like, how much Go Sports you guys watch? And the kid's like, the finals. And I'm like, I'm done. Yeah. You guys are over the hill already.
Some of my favorite games are on freaking Friday.
The level aftermath game. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
The 8-10 game or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was just like punch. And like that's before that. Like on Sunday, because it's the bend don't break, and people are trying to get drawn out into the deep water. The game has to slow down. It has to. Right. On Friday, it does not have to slow down. If anything, it's a bet on who can get the most points, who can have the biggest. Like it's about point margins. Who can create the biggest one? So I love seeing Friday people come out and just start throwing haymakers. I love it.
Oh, right. I love that
Sunday the woods ball stuff. I mean, it's like finals, any type of finals.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's like, we shot one body, pulled up. Like, we're gonna play this out, and that's how most of the finals have been for these woods ball things at the end now, because
it's all based on points, and normally, that's how it's
been. One body,
Yeah, I have. This will be a hot take. I believe the last time I was asked, like, do you think we should have woods in the finals, or like should there only be woods ball fields? And I don't. There should be tournament series that are strictly woods ball. But I personally would love, like, if I had to choose, the prelims would be on a hyperball field, a mounts field, or a woods ball field, right? You get those 3 old school fields. Then the finals would be like an airball field or something more speedball related. To help mitigate the amount of the slowness that's going to happen. Like, it's a part of the game. And if you put people out in the woods, especially 10 paintball players who know how to play paintball, and you put them in a finals game out in the woods, it's going to be super hard to close it.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans are going to happen too, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Shenanigans will happen. So if you can make it as open, not as open, but like without brush being in the way, like that's why I like the idea of having an airball field at the finals. And also, like, maybe we could say that paintball started out in the woods, and then it progressed out from the woods onto like a speedball course with woods, and then or on the mounds, and then hyperball wood-shaped bunkers, and then strictly hyperball bunkers, and then out airball bunkers. It'd be cool to see a tournament that kind of follows that same progression, where you start on the old school format. It's all mechanical all the way through, but the teams who get to the finals are the ones that will play out on the layout. So, like, imagine the Vegas layout dropped. Everyone had the normal Vegas layout, but when you showed up to the event, the prelims were on You know, this is where the old school, or I personally love, like you had the Angel Field, you had the Balls energy drink fields. This time you could actually have, this time you could like have a die field, an HK Army field, a Virtue field, and those companies could make a layout, you know, for that, you know, for that event. And I don't know, I would love to see something like that come back into, you know, fruition. If it was going to be strictly X ball, if not, I would love to see that like hybrid format of hyperball, mounds, woods, and then going into the finals, letting that be the layout on an airball.
I would love that. The older dudes probably would not.
No, that's what I'm saying. It'll be a hot take. The old dudes won't like it,
Yeah.
but you know.
I mean, they barely like what
The
it is.
hyperball.
Yeah. They don't,
Do you think they hate all like? Do you think they hate the new airball stuff, or do you think they would mind like those big car washes, like NPPL style bunkers?
they don't like that either.
Not even the NPPL style stuff.
I'm talking about like, and this is just because like I've been like watching them
What about jump and launch them?
and other shit like Brad stuff and other people's stuff like the UK Predators, Kevin Donaldson, and the OG Ironman want a 2-acre woods ball field with rolling L's, maybe not 2 acres, but they want like a 200 by 300, can't shoot tape to tape, can't see each other off the break, can only really start shooting people at the 40s of each field. Like if you were at your 40, I was at my 40.
Yeah.
And a defibrillator bar and an oxygen tank, and that's like what they want.
And gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I understand.
Electric
scooters to bring them out. Maybe those you know what they should do? They should have those tracked wheelchairs that I've seen at some of the scenario games, and they should have them all go out there. What I mean, my thing though is like, I understand the OG Iron Man because like a lot of their dudes are old. Like, and I understand Kevin, so maybe Kevin can play, but Kevin doesn't really play anymore.
Yeah.
And all his dudes are all young speedball kids. Bro, why wouldn't you want it all to be hyperball? Or because they destroyed like all Americans and all these dudes, like they destroyed teams on hyperball. Like the Woods wasn't really their thing.
They beat us they beat us on hyperball. Granted, I think we beat ourselves that game, but yeah, they can ball out in the hyperball field too.
Mm-hmm.
That's because they're all like, you know, a lot of them play the Woods, but most of them are speedball kids. So
yeah,
I don't know, like play to your team's strength. Like
yeah, well, also like specifically, okay, we'll go on the Ironman because the guys who are saying that, from what I understand, that want these oversized woods ball field, and want it to be in the woods, those are the back line guys, right? And on the OG Ironman, it's not that the front guys, it's not like they're gonna win with the punch out of the gate, right? It's the Ironman strength is their back line. It's right. And they know how, they're patient. They love those bend don't break moments. Those back guys are really good back guys. So I would just play devil's advocate and be like, look, that's your skill set. Does that really matter what field you're on, right? Like if the back bunkers are big and you could fit behind, if you're telling me you don't like small airball bunkers, but you're willing to go out into the woods where you're going to play a line of trees that are no bigger than, you know, like a small chair,
right?
Like you're just complaining. And you want, and you're just complaining. Like just go out into the field and play to your strength. You're a great back player. It doesn't matter if you're on the woods, if you're on the hyperball field, or you're on the mounds. You have to figure out how to do your job to the best of the ability. And it's not like you're playing at a disadvantage because their back guys are playing on the same freaking field you're on,
right?
With the same dimensional bunk. And they're like, "Well, these are the younger kids playing." Well, the younger kids are up in the front, and I'm in the snake, and I'm crawling to your side of the field.
You're not doing that no matter what field it is. If it's a field, a hyperball,
yeah. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna look at Bird and be like, Bird, you hit the snake. I got your corner, homie. That won't happen.
Yeah, man. I mean, if it happens through something
went wrong. Something
like that happened. Like all of a sudden, but more we used to play. I don't know if you ever played the UWL, but it was literally like 30 minutes, and at like 20 minutes in, whoever was dead would respawn. So there would be times where like I'd be the front guy and I'd be like up in the shit and I would die and the back guy would take that spot and I would respawn like 10 minutes, like the 20-minute mark. And all of a sudden I'm behind like Kevin Donaldson and shit. And I'm like,
what's going on here?
I'm like, Kevin, go! He's like, oh, you go, I'll go, whatever. And I'm like, all right. You know what I mean? But
Walter, you played this the most recent ICPL?
no, I haven't done the
ICPL,
I've
no.
really been playing, honestly. I haven't. I played ICT last year in a big game, but I haven't. I took time off, man. I got burnt out. Like I was
Understood.
main dude on the Master Blasters, helping with the orders. And one day I just saw myself. I was ripping my hair out. It's probably why I got this comb over going because I was ripping my hair out, losing my hair. But I was cursing because somebody was like, we did like a big order with Die and Valken, like
Yeah.
45 guns, 100 masks, like a big order. And I'm like, this kid's like, I want a blue gun. I'm like, bro, they're all custom guns. What you fucking blah, 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 blah. And then like this lady's like, yo, can you chill out? Like my kid's here, blah, blah, blah. And I just think to myself, I'm like, bro, I need to get out of this.
Yeah.
Get done. So I haven't played ICPL. I used to play UWL a lot. Like I actually played Costa Rica, UWL, Ecuador, and Cancun.
Okay, yeah.
Nice. I know you've played some of the cool ones though. Like once more, paintball is the ticket to travel and do some cool shit.
Dude, that's what I was telling him, man. Like those are the best events, man. I'm not a pro or nobody like that, bro. But when you're over there, they treat you like you're a pro. Like not even just like a pro paintballer, like a pro like Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan. They're
like you're a freaking Ronaldo down in freaking like the Spanish thing. Like, shit. I literally just lost my train of thought. Travis, like I have a question for you. Then at this past ICPL on the hyperball field, the crazy. Did you play that side or which side did you play?
On the hyper, I played the snake corner on the hyper. Are you talking about the hybrid?
No, the hyper. Fuck the hybrid field. That was my kryptonite. I can't really speak on
yeah.
that.
So on the hyper field, they made me play the snake corner because it was so far.
Gotcha. Do you have a game that like stands out to you? Do you have a highlight on that game?
That stood out to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the semifinals against Undertow, because you only play like one or two games on each. So the first couple, I was really just kind of feeling my way. Like the first game, I made it to the corner, and I was like, didn't expect to make it here alive. Okay, all right, so I could do this. And then so we just kind of like worked our way through those games. But the Undertow game, really, those games matter when you get out of the prelims, man. There's only two.
Yeah.
So I just remember coming in and the guy overslid the corner and I shot him and I was like, yes, here we go. We're already up on their fucking corners out. Yeah. My brother's in the stake one. I see him peek around and I see him go into the first knuckle. I'm like, oh my God, we're rolling. They get a penalty. It was just one of those games that really was like, I was like, yeah, man. We're in the semis. Yeah.
On the hyperball field, I think personally for me, my favorite game probably would have been against either Armada, forget the other team, but against Armada. And I remember at one point in time, I'm playing at the snake had this crazy U shape, and I'm playing at the back of this U, and it's Aaron and I. Aaron's at like the snake 1. No, Aaron's at like the 50 snake, and I'm way back here trying to stand up and try to check to see if the corner guy was still there, because we were like, we called a slash, but like 2 people walked off on that side, and we're like, wait, which 2 people were?
What happened here?
Yeah. So I went over there to do a little reconnaissance, and I was like, okay, we're clear. And for us at the 500 call, when our right side is clear, right? So I go around, I'm like, hey, Aaron, at the 500. He's like, no, it's not. There's a corner. And I was like, it's a 500. I actually wound up going around him. So I go from our snake 1 real quick to their snake 1. And when I pulled up, there was a dude across the field in these like the little like Dorito L-shaped bunkers. And I look over and I pull my gun up and I just take like one shot to like how far is, like that. This angle is kind of weird. I was like, okay, how do I actually need to shoot this guy? And I pull my first shot to see, and I just see this ball go and like smack on the side of the goggles. I was like, that's how far that needed to go. All right.
Perfect.
And then I hear like this rattle, and I'm like, well, Aaron is definitely not in front of me because I just passed him. So I came over the top of the bunker just to be like, there's going to be something over here. What's it going to be? And I actually like hit my gun on the side of the bunker and like fumbled it in my hands on like, as I'm picking up this fumbled paintball gun, and like I go over to the other end and this dude just is like crawling. And I just remember looking up and his clear lenses and his eyes were like, I was like, oh, this is great. And just being able to come over the top and just dunk on him. Yeah, that was easily one of my favorite games. I love when I can just go over to somebody and just whack onto the other
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, the best games for me by far are in the woods. That's where I make my money for GZs in the woods.
Yeah, the on the, that woods ball field. Aaron Bowling and when Aaron Bowling and I play together, that's like a super awesome. We play good together. Whoever the combo is, but whenever Aaron Bowling and I are together, I guess he and I just mesh so well. We're not like neither one of us are just like go get it. We're both like, hey, what are you doing? Like we vibe off that kind of energy. And
Yeah.
he and I, it was like we pushed the spectator side and the center, and it was literally just he and I, and like I would put in one dude and he would move and like make a whole bunch of like ruckus, and then he would start shooting and then I would move, and we were throwing everybody off, and like, how many people did you guys have over there? And Aaron and I were just like, just us two. Our whole job was to make a whole lot of noise and hopefully shoot somebody. It's a lot of fun.
Right, that's awesome, man. All right, so I know your time is limited here, so I want you to plug everything one more time, where people can find you on all your socials, plug your website and all your stuff. I don't watch it live because when you're live, I'm at work, but I do the sweat thing every day.
That's awesome. I'm super, dude. Today's was rough. Halfway through, I looked over at Lauren, my better half, and I was like, I'm walking to the gates of hell right now. I'm hurting. It was tough, but it's a great workout.
I had a good sweat going. I had a good sweat.
That's great. I love it. So with that being said, rolling into that, just all my stuff kind of segues into your daily dose of fitness, which is once more, it's www.yddof.com. From there, you can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all Twitch. My gamer tag, it's all Elrod1, ELLROD, the number 1. From there, we can either talk about fitness, we could talk about paintball, we could talk about snowboarding, we could talk about wake surfing, whatever it is. And if anybody's down in the area, let's get out on the boat and let's get on the water and start surfing. Let's play some paintball. That works too.
Right? Once we're all allowed to do this again.
Yeah, right.
All right, man. So again, thanks for doing this. This is Elrod from the Saberwolves. Again, our sponsor for this episode was Diana Sports. Use 10% at their website. And thanks for tuning in, guys.
Peace out, guys.